an ancient and powerful medicinal plant found on the Zarathyme temple site. During the last month, people have become aware of the health benefits from a plant that Dr. Kevin Price discovered 6 weeks ago growing on the Zarathyme temple site. Based on existing literature, the health benefits from the oils of this plant will be significant. At the end of the Heartland Research Group expedition during the first week of August 2020, volunteers harvested 13 pounds of fresh plant material directly from the center of the sand mound that is the foundation of the Zarathyme temple. The plant material was flown to Utah where its precious essential oils were extracted within 24 hours after harvest by Dana Young, president of Young Total Health. The appearance, smell, and taste of the oils confirm that the plant has the properties of world-class oils that are used for many medicinal purposes. These expectations, however, can only be confirmed through rigorous tests in a certified essential oils testing laboratory. The extracted oils from the first harvest have been hand-delivered to the testing laboratory where gas chromatography and mass spectrometry analyses will be conducted to certify its chemical composition. Within 48 hours, the laboratory report will be completed. While the chemical makeup of this plant has been reported in another country, this report will confirm the oil chemistry for the plant found on the Zarathyme temple site, and a summary of the findings will be posted on this Facebook page and on www.zarathyme.site. We have mounting evidence that this plant was cultivated more than 2,000 years ago by people who are found in the Book of Mormon. The plant is tied to a verse in the 46th chapter of the Book of Alma. Alma was living in Zarathyme at the time when he wrote, "There were some who died with fevers, which at some seasons of the year were very frequent in the land, but not so much so with fevers, because of the excellent qualities of the many plants and roots which God had prepared to remove the cause of diseases, to which men were subject by the nature of the climate." Malaria was a seasonal disease that causes severe fever during certain seasons of the year throughout the heartland of the U.S. This dreadful disease was not eradicated from the U.S. until 1951. Seeds from the plant will soon be ready for harvest. In a few weeks, we intend to harvest these seeds under the supervision of a trained botanist. The seeds naturally fall from the plant directly to the ground, which means their dispersal method is more in place than plants that use longer distance dispersal mechanisms such as wind and clinging to the fur coats of animals and dropped in more distant locations. Based on the dominance and geographic distribution of this plant, its dispersion seems to have been dependent on the deliberate action and migratory direction of ancient people. None of the plants are noticeable in the fields and roadside areas for miles around the Zarathyme temple site. Visual aerial correspondence analysis shows strong mapping pattern agreement between the plant distribution and Hopewell cultural settlement sites in the state of Iowa, and authors of newly found documents report that the plant is found abundantly in the sandy areas around the Great Lakes region, another area where Hopewell people were also heavily concentrated. These findings suggest the Hopewell people were maintaining this plant for its medicinal qualities. We found it thriving in the Zarathyme temple area, but most strongly associated with the sandy area where the temple was located and along an ancient berm created by the Hopewell people near their temple. The plant appears to be a living artifact from the Book of Mormon. Centuries ago, the Europeans came and gave native people smallpox, while at the same time these intruders ignored the health benefits that the natives could have given them for the cure of malaria, sickness from the Old World and health in the New World. This was an unfortunate situation. For 300 years of European domination, the healing properties of this ancient plant have been hiding in the weeds. It is now time for these benefits to be made available to the world. Published studies have shown that important essential oils also found in this plant are effective against every strain of bacteria for which it was tested, and the EPA recently approved the use of sterilizing compounds that are found in this plant for cleaning surfaces for COVID-19. It is also interesting to note a clear correlation of the plant's dispersal with locations of those people who are identified in the Book of Mormon. From Florida to Iowa and from Iowa to the Great Lakes, the plant is found within the habitation areas of the Hopewell people, whom we believe to have been the Nephites described in the Book of Mormon. These people carried the seeds of the plant in pouches and planted them as they moved from one location to another. We are extremely excited about bringing the plant from the Temple of Zarathyme site back to the attention and benefit of our time. Heaven knows that we have suffered too much from strange diseases. It is now time for the ancient world of the Nephites to come forth to help us as we try to improve our health and wellness. Please help in our continued search for Zarathyme. If you would like to contribute to these efforts, you can do so by going to www.zarathyme.site.